Owl House. We have Sarah Nicole Robles as Luz Nocita, Sissy Jones as Lilith Clawthorn, Zeno Robinson as the Golden Guard, Mela Lee as Kiki Mora, Eden Regal as Basha, Deb Dotzer as, something going on? Oh, sorry, someone's just cheered. Okay. Deb Deutzer as Gwendolyn Clawthorn, Elizabeth Groujon as Camille Nocita, with us also being joined by YouTuber turned production member Rebecca Rose.
Woo!
Sorry, hold up. I'm getting a glitch real quick. Give me 1 second.
To help answer some questions.
Sorry that I was getting a glitch there. All right, I'm back. We also have Haley joining us today. Of course, we're going to be asking the Owl House crew some questions. Why don't we give everyone a chance to introduce themselves since I had some huge technical glitches there. Why don't we start with Sarah Nicole?
Hi, my name is Sarah Nicole Robles. I play Luz Noceda, and I'm happy to be hanging out with you again.
Welcome back. We also have Sissy.
Hi, I'm Sissy Jones. I've got my sweet Albert earrings from Cosplay by Sab.
Yes, thanks,
I play Lilith Clawthorn on the show, and I'm super jazzed to be here.
As well as Rebecca Rose.
Yeah, so I'm Rebecca Rose. Used to be a YouTuber and then became a production associate on the Owl House.
Wow.
Thank you for joining us. We also have Zeno Robinson.
Hello, I am Zeno Robinson. I play Hunter, and I put him back there just now for this. In the Owl House from season 2 to the end.
We are also joined today by Mela Lee.
Hey, peeps. So sorry to just be on my phone. My laptop is charging. Human error. I play Kiki Mora, and I'm so honored to be a part of this magical crew and family.
Over to Eden Regal.
Hey, I'm Eden Regal. I'm also really excited for today to be seeing you beautiful faces. I play Basha on the show, and I was also the voice director.
Yes.
Wow. Over to Elizabeth Groujon.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Groujon, and I play Camila Noceda. So happy to be here, and yeah, it's my first time doing the Streamily event, so I'm excited and clueless.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And now over to Deb Dotzer.
Hi, guys. I'm Deb Dotzer. I live in Chicago. I played Gwendolyn Clawthorn, mama of Ida and Lilith, and I'm just jazzed to be here too.
Well, welcome. Thanks for everyone for joining us here in the audience. If you want an autographed print from any of these voice actors, we also have group prints signed by a number of them, and also some of the voice actors who couldn't make it here today, such as Avi Roque, among others, Deborah Wilson. Use the Streamily link that should be popping up down there right below. Go get yours. You can even watch them sign it live on one of their streams that they will be having later today and later on as well. We're going to go over to Haley with the first question for our cast.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Deep Cut. So yeah, to everyone, how did you feel about your particular character's ending in the flash forward? Your thoughts about it. And all that. Yeah, so let's go backwards. Let's talk with Elizabeth first.
I felt really emotional about it, and endings are always really kind of bittersweet, but I love that it always ends up being about family and friendship and community and sticking together, and I think those themes are super important, especially right now. So I just loved it. I was really excited about it.
And then, I meant I forgot what order. Yeah, Deb next.
Well, I was only in season 2, very small part, but yeah, I mean, it's very sad that it's over, and I did enjoy all the tie-ups and tie-ins and family stuff. It was a beautiful show, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm grateful you all could make it today and talk with us. Then on to Eden.
Yeah, I mean, I really loved. I loved how in the end Luce was able to kind of have the best of both worlds, literally, and you know, and pull together her Boiling Isles family and her you know, Earth, you know, human realm family. But for Basha in particular, I think, yeah, I loved that she finally figured out what she wanted. That she just wanted to do normal things and look great and play Grudgeby with her friends. And then she got to be reunited with her friends. I mean, like, at the heart of it, she's just been so, like, lost the whole time and wanting something from Amity that Amity wasn't willing to, like, give her, and, like, wanted power, and it made her feel bad, which, you know, on Coronation Day, like, that's just so thematic. And then she was just like, you know what? I just want to look good and play the game and be normal and hang out. And she got it. She got it.
On to Mela.
Thanks, guys. I couldn't hear for a second. I had to figure that out. I thought Kikimora in a trucker hat was like penultimate, but seeing her in a do-rag and some pants just working on the house, I'm all about it. I think in the future, Kikimora stopped trying to live for her mom and Palm Stings and probably just kind of settled a little bit, found some friends and some home. I really love to see that in the credits.
Mm-hmm.
What about Zeno?
Oh,
I feel like we skipped Zeno.
I'm not here.
right.
Yeah, I think Hunter has this kind of full circle arc with grief, and I think it's really important that was touched upon, and that like he didn't, I think it kind of had this message about grief where sometimes it doesn't leave you, but you learn how to live with it, and you learn how to move on, and you learn how to love what's around you. And I think like Hunter I think he has this speech that he says to Bellos in Thanks to Them, and he kind of does that, and I like that he finally, you know, everybody was like, when's Hunter gonna be happy? And I was like, at the end. You know, everyone's asking me when he'll be happy, and at the end of the show. And so he finally found like better mentor figures, and he finally found friends, and he finally got to do the things that he wanted to do, like explore magic and carve talismans, and you know, he got, you know, as we all know, there's Waffle now, and it doesn't mean that, you know, Flapjack's impact isn't there. And I love the symbology of like Flapjack living inside of his heart, you know, so because that's kind of symbolic for how that is and how that works. You know, and his great, amazing friendship with Willow.
Yes,
We'll circle back to that
one. Cool. Yeah. Now with our last little group here, Cece.
I was so happy to see Lilith in Harpy form. I had no idea that was coming, but I was so happy to see it, and to see her like embrace all of her nerddom and but still hold a grudge against Flora Desplora. And I'm pretty sure she now owns a Hocus without a Pocus.
And Sarah Nicole.
I mean, the quinceanera, I think we like joked about it so many times. And so the fact that that's how it ended, I was like so happy for Luce. Like, it's not that like the quince is the most important thing, but like, it was it's like a symbolic, like she's growing up and she's being herself, and and her dogs will bark. Yeah. And I don't know, it was just really, I don't know, it was really, I think, nice for me to see like Luce doing her own thing, and everyone's just doing their own thing and being their best selves and like honoring their joy and their truth. So, and obviously, you know, like her and Amity still being cute is very satisfying.
Of course. Rebecca, if there's any thoughts you wanted to bring up about the ending, your thoughts on it?
Oh boy. Well, I actually had an insid in the credits. Pretty much all of the crew, like all the students, got a character based off of them. So I was the one with Marcus that runs the potion out of the window.
So cute and little.
Yeah, so that was fun. So like everyone, like Dana got one. So it was fun that we got to design all those. But like that whole flash forward sequence, like I mean, we just kind of went all out, like in terms of design and just being like, okay, what's everyone's flash forward design gonna look like? What are they up to? What are they doing? So like we would do launches for each of the design teams. So that's character, props and effects, and background. And so like we'd sit down and we'd be like, okay, like what are we gonna do for this? Like how is this gonna look? How would this character look? What would this background look like? And it's a lot because like every character gets like a flash forward design. So it's like when we were sitting down and looking at the design total, we're like in those like 6-7 minutes, it was like pretty much as like a regular like standard 22-minute episode of Owl House, and like those few minutes of just like cramming as much as we could in there.
Who posted that the other day, Sam? Like all the before and afters, like all the flash forwards.
Oh, I'd love to see
on
that.
Instagram.
Oh, all the color designs?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Sam Keston.
Yeah.
So Sam Keston was one of our color designers, and they colored a bunch of the, like, including Hunter, Willow, me.
If you want to see, like, for reference, it was so cool to like really get to stop and look at them and see how cute they are.
So we really went all out with the whole flash forward thing. It was just like, I don't know, it was like a full circle moment for like everybody involved, just to like see, you know, not only like the characters, but just all the work that the crew put in those last few minutes to just kind of be a nice button to the whole show.
Awesome. Well, we're going to circle back to that flash forward right now. This next question is, assuming there was some sort of spin-off for the Owl House, what would you see your character doing? Perhaps in this flash forward, or even in a side story that took place before the flash forward? I was thinking we'd just, start from the end again and work our way up. Why don't we start with Deb Doetzer?
Oh my goodness. Well, hard to say. I mean, I think in a way, you know, she Gwendolyn fought some hard battles, and she just wants to garden, I think, and spend time with other girls. And
I can see a
collect
spin-off
cats.
of all her adventures, just trying to,
That
help
could be-
Ida.
Oh, that could be totally fun. All the backstory of
Oh my
how she
gosh.
got all those scars.
That's
That was
awesome.
great.
I just want to see her raising you guys.
I know. I just want to see her be like, this is how you get maximum gains.
And over to Elizabeth Groujon. How do you see Camila either in a spin-off or in a continuation from this flash forward?
The first thing that popped into my mind was like Camila just like cooking a bunch of like dishes, like arroz con pollo, maduro, like opening almost like a restaurant slash orphanage for like wayward youth.
Should be great.
It's very, very close. Like Moose would just be right there. And like opening the doors for kids out there that need like a hot meal and a warm hug. And, yeah, I think that's the whole spinoff. For
There you
Camila.
go. Disney
I
picked
watched
these
it.
up.
I'd watch
Yeah.
both of these, so
Yeah.
thanks.
It'll be called Cooking with Camila.
Yeah.
I could totally see her having a mini series of her just trying to take care of the Owl House kids when they we only got like one episode of that, That could have been a whole
Exactly,
season.
yeah.
Whole thing.
That's what I said. I wanted to watch them
Totally.
all in just the human realm,
Right.
like all of those high things.
Yeah.
Just
Or just
interactive.
like Camila as a vet in the demon realm, I would watch.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, like a
Oh my
homestead.
gosh, that's brilliant.
No.
So
that
many.
Bridget came up
Good.
with.
There was a
Like so like at the end of all the credits for the first and second special, how it's like those like kind of moments like in the credits of just like showing what happened
Yeah.
in each of the realm. I think it was Bridget actually had like a really, it didn't make it in the final cut, but it was Hunter helping Camila out at the vet.
Oh,
And they were like
that's
doing a
adorable.
checkup like on the palisman and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It was
Remember that.
absolutely adorable. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a spin-off of
Aw.
Yeah, like a palisman vet.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. That's the show,
be so
Disney.
cute.
Talisman
Every
Dana,
episode a
if you're
different
watching.
talisman.
We're just throwing ideas out there.
A different
Brilliant.
wing
Could you imagine?
world.
It's good. Yeah. Let's go with that.
I was thinking next, Eden Regal. How do you see Basha and her spin-off or sequel?
I mean, we could do like a whole like she goes pro and like the saga of the Grudgeby saga. But
And
I
Willow.
wait, sorry, what?
It's in you and Willow, right? That's
Yeah.
Sports
be-
anime face
Yeah.
off.
Totally. Yeah, no, I would have liked to see like a full redemption for Basha. I don't know if it's possible, but yeah, if she and Willow somehow could have their own spin-off where we see them like kick some butt. That'd be really cool.
And over to Melanie, what do you see in the Kikimora cinematic universe?
Trucker hats. Trucker.
Yeah,
hats.
definitely. I think Kiki, like I used to be a Wall Street banker, clearly not my future, right? And I think sometimes when we are going after the jobs that we think we're supposed to have or that our parents want, we become someone we don't like, right? And so I think Kiki Moore is going to be living her best life and starts to turn into like the cool auntie, the sage mage, gives the
Excuse me,
wisdom.
the cool auntie moniker is already taken.
It's time to
Well,
pass on
maybe
the reins.
Lilith could take
Eccentric.
Kiki under her wing,
Yeah.
show her the ropes.
Eccentric auntie and just
Eccentric
that like
auntie.
I don't know like not Auntie May, but like the eccentric kind of like, well, kids, I from personal experience tell you to just follow your own path and just really be careful about overextending your dreams in the sense of for someone else instead of for yourself, because I just loved to see her, like the pants were everything to me. I think she's kind of become earth mothery kind of vibe. I would love to see that.
Now over to Zeno Robinson.
I feel like there's a lot to explore with Hunter, but I would really want to see like more about Hunter and his origins, like finding out his origins, like how he was made and the other Grimwalkers, his connections to the Clawthorn family.
That's good. I'd watch that.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I don't know why Hunter stuff always gets dark, but I was like, even though like a lot of things were wrapped up really nicely, like I would love for him to be like, oh, well, I have these like loose ends that I've got to tie up before I could fully move on and like find out who I am, and like I would want him to kind of sort of explore his history and like where he comes from, and like and sort of maybe like in like some kind of big mystery way, that's kind of what I see happening, like him and Willow going on like this adventure to like kind of help him put to rest the skeletons in his closet.
This show really has like the most spin-off potential now that I think about this.
I mean, let's be honest.
I want to watch Xeno's therapy sessions. Like,
Maybe that, or maybe it's just a whole spin-off of Hunter in therapy in every episode.
It's like The Sopranos. It starts every episode.
Yeah.
I'd like to jump over to the Owl Trio next. We can start with Sissy and work our way over to Rebecca.
Babaluba is here.
She wants to tell you about her
the first thing that popped into my head is like Liliana Jones in the Temple of King,
Nice.
Like I'd love to see her become like an archaeological explorer carrying out dark deeds in the Titan's name as King gets more and more powerful.
These are all such good ideas. I
But
want to watch all
also,
of them.
Right?
like I have to call out the line from the finale where they're talking about Ida and Lilith playing Grudgeby as teenagers, and Luce says, "That's a spinoff I'd watch."
Yes.
So to be fair, none of this has been greenlit, but keep getting loud.
We're just gonna manifest it.
Keep
I want
getting
all
loud.
of these.
That's right.
You
We're
could
just
do
gonna have
like
our
an
own
entire
channel.
anthology spin-off, like each episode's just
Oh my god,
How
that'd be
should
amazing.
Deep cut. That's the
Right?
kind of thinking we need.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And what about you, Sarah? What are your thoughts on a finale or a spin-off?
Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of overwhelmed, but I'm not as creative. Everyone else's ideas are so good. I always tell Dana, like, whatever. If there's ever a spinoff, I just want, like, you know how Luce is like always like asking stories, like, and then what? I just want Luce to be like narrating. Like, I want to watch all of these. I feel like Luce already had her moment. I get that, but yeah, I feel like all the juicy stuff is everything everyone just said.
Everything starts off with like How I Met Your Mother interviews. With
Lucy,
Lucy and
like,
Amity.
okay, and go.
Perfect. And what about you, Rebecca?
I would love to do a prequel series of like young Ida, Rain, Lilith. And I think there's just so much potential there because you also have characters like Odalia and Alador and Darius, and you could like figure out like what their whole backstory is. You could like see Ida like dealing with the curse, like Lilith's, introduction into the Emperor's Coven and stuff like that. I think there's just so much potential there just to get.
We were
more
robbed.
backstory. Yeah,
Now I need this. Now I need this. So we were robbed.
Yeah, no, I would love
I want
prequel
all of
season.
these.
Yeah.
now. Oh, and maybe like I want to like grown up loose and string bean learning like King's new magic.
See, there's an entire world of sequels here. There's
That's
feel like
maybe
that
like
might
a
be
mini,
thing.
like a limited series, just so we can know.
There's like a channel.
Yeah.
worth of
Oh, that's
There
what I'm
is.
saying.
The Owl House channel.
The Caesar Milan style
Can we
palace.
start a
with
Stream
Kickstarter
Yeah,
right now.
Disney will be like, oh, wait, you had your
all right. We're gonna switch over to Haley with another question for everyone.
Cool. Yeah. So this next one says, imagine if the show wasn't cut short. What kind of adventure would you like to see your characters go on the Boiling Isles? If if there was anything that was cut that you thought was
Oh, we
interesting?
kind of just asked that. Didn't
Yeah,
we
we did.
We kind of
Yeah.
combined.
Okay.
Yeah,
those.
the
You
beach
wanna do
day, the
next
beach
one?
episode that we
day.
never got.
I
Okay.
would
Just
love
next
to-
one.
Only
What?
had
I would
26
love-
more days.
all
Yeah,
of
go ahead.
season 3. All of season 3 just
Yeah.
being the human realm. Just like all of season 3 just being the human realm. If like we have
I agree. Yes.
Totally.
Ooh, yeah.
and then they come back, But like,
Yeah.
as opposed to the Boiling Isles, I would love to see everybody from the Boiling Isles and how they adapt to like the human realm and human society.
Let's make that
Or
our
what
question
about
then.
V?
What's your human adventure that you would have gone on if we had gotten that full
Ooh.
season?
Ooh.
There's your question. Yeah, I think that's
There's
I would love for Hunter to have gone to a convention.
Oh yes,
Wait,
and
that's
met
hysterical,
his
Zeno.
people.
That's so meta.
And he just really learns about nerd culture and he goes to this convention in cosplay and like having to deal with like all these other people, like there's so much
That is
there, like in costume, like are they real or are they can they do magic or can they not do magic? Is this the character from the comic book I'm reading or is it not? Like things like that. And
Also, Zeno would probably be such a devoted cosplayer.
Yes.
Like he would spend like weeks making his costume. Yeah, just
yeah, so I
Giving everybody wolf t-shirts, like
yeah.
try wear
Zeno
this.
and Michael's trying to.
and I think that that's what I'd love, like Hunter going to a convention, maybe going on a date or something, like learning about like who he likes, because he's been confirmed bi, so that would have been cool to explore, sort of elements of that if they go to like if they try to blend in high school or something, right? I think that would be really fun.
That'd be really cute.
They're so cute.
Did anyone else have any other human adventure ideas for their character?
I would love to see Lilith go to like the Magic Castle in LA. It's like it's like a place.
Oh
where
my
people do
God.
Mm.
For people that don't know, and have her be like, "What?
Yeah, like
How are you doing this magic? I don't see the glyphs."
I like how she's
Yeah,
not
I
like
love
it's
that.
wrong. She's like fascinated at how they're doing it.
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Love
Magic
that.
is this.
I don't know. I would just watch Emo Loose in high school. Like
Yes.
have to go back to like human high school and just be like super depressed.
That's so great
Just, like,
though. That's such a great.
she has nothing in common with anyone anymore.
Right.
She's like,
Last year in the demon realm.
This is my.
yeah, like she made like a stuffed version of string bean she brings everywhere.
That new girl's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. She went away from it.
She's always talking about magic and stuff. What's wrong with her?
But I think it'd be also fun to see Luce and V in the human world and like what
Oh, yes.
adventures they would get up to together, like what Luce could teach V about being in the human world and like how they could cross-mogenate, magic and
I would
human.
also just again watch everyone in Camila's like vet clinic like helping her out and like
I'm here for
everyone just trying to and Camila being like just go, you're making it worse. Like, it's so much harder.
Exactly.
Also, Zeno, I think we have the same nail color.
Oh,
Okay,
Oh
twins,
my
but-
goodness.
Okay.
Literally.
That's funny.
Okay. Yeah. Whoever else would like to answer. You got anything, Mela?
Well, I mean, in a dream world, I would love to give Kikimora, like, people keep thinking she's adorable, like a child, and she's receiving love. But if nothing changed, she'd be at the DMV. Kikimora at the DMV.
Just like Zootopia, just like really slow
Oh
and
my
boring.
God.
And, like, finally.
Did you make an
Or
appointment?
would
I'm
she
sorry,
own
I
her own
can't help you if you don't have an
company?
appointment.
Yeah, she would live for that.
Oh my
I would
God.
also watch
All
of
that
Kiki's,
power.
Like, story.
She loves
awful.
bureaucracy.
Amazing. How about for Basha, Eden?
Bosch is like the one person that I would be afraid to see in the human realm. I feel like that would be very bad. At least the Boiling Isles, I feel like tamped down on her worst instincts. But if she was here, I mean, social media. She would be able to do use our tools and fracture, to do, all kinds of damage. I think
How would she
she'd
what
have
would
a
she do about
blast.
the whole aesthetic?
Extra eye.
The whole extra
The eye, oh
eyeball
yeah. I mean, I think it could be a trend. I think she'd start a trend,
Right.
frankly.
Everybody like has like fake eyes.
You're right.
Like
eyes, so cool.
Instagram would have to put in a third eye filter
Filter.
so that people could be
Yeah.
like her. Like I feel like she's kind of missing her calling, actually. Like
Yeah,
if you
she
just
becomes
scoot it
famous.
out, then watch out, world. She'd never want to go back ever.
Yes.
That is
Wow,
perfect.
so scary.
Yeah. What about for Gwendolyn? If you thought of anything, Deb.
I don't know. I think it would be, I love Sissy's idea of going to a magician show and being like, what the heck am I watching here? And I don't know. I just got some weird idea about her going to that big mall in Minnesota and just being
Mall of America.
overwhelmed and going shopping, like, whoa, this is fun.
You know those people
Yeah.
who are like, "Hey, miss, do you want to try my new product?" Like she'd be at every single.
Oh yes,
stand.
yeah, makeup all over, yeah. And but I with Eden, I think you'd be a TikTok sensation. I think
Oh
that's
yes.
she'll go, I don't want to see the rest of the world, but I'll be here and I'll just make crazy TikToks.
Crazy. Famous Basha.
Yes.
A star.
Watch
like,
out.
how I would turn back.
Which would just like grind everyone's gears. Like all of us would be like,
Yeah.
Ow. There's
Yeah.
this guy, I think he's here, and he does these like kind of overdub videos of Hunter. So I want to play into that in Hunter wanting a PlayStation, a PS5. I think that would be really cool because you can't find them, and it's like a big pop culture thing for kids. That's awesome.
It would be so crazy. I mean, to come into our world and just there's so much fodder for ridiculous
yeah.
antics.
Even like Hunter trying so hard to like be a regular teen,
He
I think
can't
would be
do it.
hysterical.
and he can't do it. It can't be normal. And I feel like there's like a fun like social anxiety for that. He's like, come on, be normal.
What's wrong with you?
yeah, everyone would be like, all right.
Yeah. It's just like this group of weird kids, and all the other kids like they're so weird.
And I feel like Amity would be the only normal one. She'd be the only one like comfortable. You'd be in the counselor's office every day.
Every day, like you don't understand. You don't get my pain.
Yes. More angst. Yeah, and finally, did you have anything to add for Camila?
This really ridiculous image keeps popping into my mind of like Camila like mentoring other parents of LGBTQIA2S plus youth who also do magic, like really niche,
Very
like a
specific.
super niche, like guys, this is how you support your kids. Like they're talking about the demon realm, you just have to listen. Like I don't know, like these support groups
Her coaching like Darius about hunting.
But she would also be the one that's like lobbying Congress and like getting laws passed and like
Oh.
number one advocate, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like pounding down doors, like getting petitions together, like storming. Well, I was going to say storming the Capitol, but that's
in a different way.
That's not taken.
Legally.
That's not what I meant.
Legally.
Should be knocking
With
on
letters.
doors firmly.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
Just like emotionally conversing with people in a very safe way.
Yes. She would be unstoppable. It's true. Yeah.
I disagree. I think Basha would be there, like taking ads, taking lobbying.
Oh, I would be, yes, Basha would definitely be like, for sale. Yes, completely.
Yeah, she'd be for sale. We're gonna get
Highest bidder.
Makeup campaign
Yes,
coming after
she'd have her own line.
100%. Yes.
We have some
Politics.
individualized questions for all of you here. Oh, sorry. Did someone?
No, not at all. No,
Nope.
please.
Oh, sorry. So we have some individualized questions for all of you here. We're going to jump into them real quick with me and Haley going back and forth between each of you. But real quick, I want to remind everyone that we have autograph prints from all these voice actors available at the Streamily shop. Link should be in the chat and in the description. Go check it out. See all the great art. This might be the last time we sell them, so get your hands on them while you can. And our first question is for Sarah Nicole. In most cartoons, the characters rarely ever have a chance to grow or change. At best, we get like a flash forward like Owl House did. But even before that flash forward, Luce and the gang had grown and changed really so much over the years. How did your relationship with the character of Luce change as she started to grow and change versus other shows where they remain the same, especially visually?
I mean, I love emo Lewis. I've said that. Curly haired Lewis is for me. I don't know. I think we were all growing up. I mean, like, not like I was like 14, but I was, when we started, this was like 2017. That's a long time. And the pandemic happened and that was really heavy. So I feel like, frankly, like Luce's emotional arc kind of lined up with my emotional arc. Like, I was grateful though, because sometimes it feels like a little tone deaf to me, like if you don't struggle, like, and if you don't change. And so I don't know, I think it would have been harder if Luce hadn't evolved, despite everything she'd been through. So it was very exciting, and Luce just got like deeper and juicier and more fun, I think, every episode we did and every interaction and all the new characters. Did I answer your question at all?
Yeah, no, that was great. So we have this one's for Sissy. While all the characters have changed over the seasons, yours didn't grow so much as kind of take off the persona she adopted in pursuit of success. Do you feel a different approach to your character, sort of uncovering who they once were as opposed to becoming like an entirely new person like the younger characters are becoming?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like much like Mela, I used to work in the Silicon Valley. I was a corporate shill, and like I really tried to chase that car for 10 years and it was awful. And I put aside a lot of things that I had wanted as a kid because I thought this was what would make me an adult, right? I thought that was what would make me successful or happy or whatever. And the more I did it, the worse off it got. And not that I didn't meet great people and have good experiences along the way, but like there was a massive, anxiety attack that just destroyed everything. And I was like, okay, well, I guess it's time to, and figure out who I really am and what I really want out of my life. And I think we all go through that at some degree, probably not to the degree of, cursing your sister and bringing an owl beast into your lives, but exploring that was so fun. And having her be so awful that first season to just such a nerd.
You did try and kill me.
Well, sorry.
That was a little ugly.
Thank
yeah. I think it's part of growing up part of figuring out who you are.
Go on.
Sorry about that.
I forgave you. We're square.
Oh, and now over to Haley with 2 more questions.
First question is for Zeno. Could you tell us your thoughts on Flapjack's sacrifice and impact that had on Hunter's character?
No,
Oh,
I need
boy.
to leave the room.
I feel like it was one of those things when you were working on a Disney show when you go, that's not gonna stick, right? Like there's no way. Like he's gonna come back at the end of this episode, and then we do part 2, and I was like, all right, well he's gonna come back at the end of this one. We're playing a long game, okay? And then you get to the end, and you're like, okay, he doesn't come back. What does this mean? I think it was sort of like, it's like a tough thing because I think Flapjack really represented a lot for Hunter. Hunter in the beginning couldn't really connect with other people, so he connects with this with a talisman, which is supposed to be forbidden, and he learns about protecting something important to him, and he learns about, like he said, like Flapjack was his first friend, and one of his most important. But I think like he had to learn in losing Flapjack how to deal with his own grief and move on from that. And I think it's really impactful to his character, because sometimes when we lose something that's really special to us, it's hard for us to see the things that are important around us still. And I think he learns that with like Gus and Willow, and like that even though that thing that you love is gone, there's still love here for you. And that's like a lesson he had to learn. And I think like I love that it was like Flapjack still being loyal to him to the end. And like Flapjack always putting Hunter first, and like Hunter's never had that. So I think like that's why it was. And I like how we didn't just like skate over it, right? Like he was still like going through grief throughout after that, like throughout the rest of the show, pretty much. And he still is. And I think that's just important to like touch on when it comes to love, and when it comes to the people and the things that we love, because when you lose them, they stay with you in a lot of ways. So I hope that answered the question. It was tough. I was like, it's like killing the dog in the show. You're like it's like I was like, I don't want to watch the dog die.
Yeah.
I loved the thank you for finding me on the.
I know it's such a sweet.
That was a line specifically done by Dana,
Just
because at first the grave didn't have anything on it, and then Dana's like, I'm gonna come back to you with a line, and then it showed up in the next design review, and everyone was like,
Yeah. So are these all F's in the chats for Flapjack?
I was gonna say a lot of F's in the chat
Yeah.
for Flapjack.
Yeah.
Pay your respects, people, with another F.
I love that. Yeah, that line's it got me too. I was like, wow, because like I think that's such a great sentiment, where it's like you're like thanking someone for coming into your life and like changing you and like starting you on a path to being better. And I 100% think that's what Flapjack did, in like helping Hunter's empathy and love and connection and showing him what that looks like. And like and sometimes that just happens, like you just crash into things and it changes your entire life, changes the trajectory of your entire life.
and breaking the cycle.
Dang, Zeno.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a perfect answer. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Now our next question is for Mela. For going to work from working with Bellows to turning against him to work with King to eventually becoming her own big bad villain alongside Basha. How was it watching that journey unfold, and how did you try to approach the character differently with each change?
Well, thanks to my director, Eden, who guided me through those. I would have loved to have seen a redemption, but sometimes people's, pain expresses itself in different ways. I think I like that she represents the good and bad in all of us, and it's a struggle. It's not like she just landed. She redeemed herself for a moment. But that full-on villain angry mode, we were giggling in the recording session. Eden was such a great director. Thank you. Kind of just letting it go and just having tantrums. I think it's interesting what Sarah says about how we all have kind of grown since we first started. You know, I auditioned for this, and then they put me in a different season. So it was like a year and a half later. Like, you got the part. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, you're like, what part?
So when I went in, they were like, oh, you're recording in the Frozen. This is where, you know, Kristen Bell was doing Frozen. And so like, there's just like this kid in me. And I think, you know, some of the lines, I'm sorry, guys, I've got stuff going on here. I mean, allergies. But she's like, you are the future of the Isles. And there's like this, you know, quality about her of just pride in the job. And then there's understanding that you can't just give your soul to your job. I think that's a nice underlying theme for
Yes.
here. And then when she becomes her own person, I think anyone who's gone through healing or, you know, let out some secrets, or you're kind of trying to get your own power, you go through this stage where you maybe swing the wrong direction a little too far. And I think that's where she was. Like, she's got the power. And she's a problem until she realizes, because some people are all about, you know, personal power, but if you're not in a group dynamic, if you're not understanding how your actions really affect people, I think villains are just misunderstood heroes or undiscovered heroes. And there's a lot of power in there, but it's been misplaced and overlooked. And Kiki Moore is a perfect example of how frustrating it can be when you just can't find your family, like the place where you belong. And please have some compassion for our villains in our lives, because people can only make you feel how they feel inside.
That is the perfect lead-in
Dang.
for our next question,
Wow.
which is for Eden Regal as Basha. The show largely is about villains finding their redemption, including most of the cast here, as we just saw. How does it feel for your character to end up surpassing Amity and becoming the greatest bully in the Boiling Isles?
How does it feel?
Felt so good. Yeah, so she got what she wanted, right? Like she got full power and control, and she kind of Basha started to feel a weird sense of responsibility toward people, and she was not a good leader by any stretch of the imagination, because she was kind of leading from a place of fear, because she felt like responsible for, you know, her friends being hurt. So she was just like, I just can't let that happen again. I just can't let that happen again. But I guess that sort of like unlocked in her like an awareness that she actually kind of, in her limited way, cares about other people. I think that's why she wanted Amity to come back, was like to restore an order that made sense, you know, like to you know, if she has somebody to go up against, if she has somebody to like worship, basically, and that struggle of like wanting to surpass that person, things made sense in that scenario. And then she's like the dog that caught the car, you know. Then she gets the car and she's like, it's too much pressure. I don't like it. I just want to have fun. Can we just have fun? So yeah, I think like she got her what she wanted, and I think there is something about like our culture of consuming, like consumer culture, and wanting the promotion and wanting, you know, like being so in that battle that you don't realize that when you get to the end of it, you know, wherever you go, there you are, and that you might get what you've wanted this whole time, and it still doesn't fill that empty hole inside. And I think that was Basha. Like, that's what I really related to with Basha, was that you just think, oh, if I just get that thing, you know, I'll be happy, right? And in fact, like this is the only moment, so find what it is right now. So anyway, yes, Basha got to be the boss baddie, and it made her sad.
That was an amazing answer. This next question is for Elizabeth. You've been around since the very first episode, but we never really got to know you until later in the show, with you becoming a main character on the Boiling Isles with everyone in the final season. What was it like as a voice actor, going from sort of an establishing supportive role to one that is so emotionally connected to all these different characters?
Oh, what a great question. It was incredible. I was thinking, it's funny, I was thinking about this, like Camila's journey from the very beginning. In the very beginning, it's like Luz is just like a weird kid getting in trouble at school, and like, you know, I'm threatening to send her to like this summer camp if she doesn't get her act together. And it's, I think we're so entrenched in the human realm that we don't really even understand. It was just more normal. It's like, I just got to get my kid to just sort of be like, it's kind of like fall in line, or you're just trying to work with it in this like very human way. And then as you know, we go deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole, I think Camila's obviously realization that like all of this is real, but the core feeling from Camila never changed, which is just absolute unquestionable love and protection of her child. Like that was always there, even when it was just about summer school or whatever the science project was or whatever. But then in this, in the Boiling Isles, it's like, okay, like I'm gonna, you know, it's like this just full-fledged, like I'm gonna protect her and protect her friends and
protect everyone,
and just like be the adult in the room and love them all as fiercely as possible. So I feel like it was that, again, like that core note was always there, but then as the show went on, it just became more and more, it just became louder and louder, and no inhibitions, like just full, you know, throwing yourself fully into this this purpose of loving and protecting your kid. So it just
Did you know what her arc was going to be when you recorded the first episode? Like, did you know that you were going to be coming back?
I guess I probably figured, since I'm her mom, I mean, she needs her mom to like live. She's a kid. So I figured like I'd come back a bit, but I didn't know in what capacity, and I certainly didn't know it would be many years of working with beloved Eden in the booth. Let me just give it up for Eden real quick, everybody. All the fans don't know what that means, that Eden is the voice director, but that means that she's in the booth and she's like moment to moment helping us craft our performance line to line, and it's absolutely massive. So anyway, I didn't know it would be years of that, and I always try not to think about it too much. Like whenever I go in the booth, I'm just like, I'm happy to be here. I don't know, like it might be one session, like whatever. But yeah, to be able to go on this journey and with all of you guys, and funny enough, only recently start to meet you guys real life. Like only in the past few months have I met any of you. It's just been an absolute joy.
Thank you. And now over to Haley with 2 more questions.
Perfect. Okay, Deb, you're gonna have to play favorites for a bit. So in the show, Gwendolyn showed a clear focus on Ida over Lilith. But now that the series has ended, which of your daughters were you most happy for with their journey and ending?
Wow.
It's okay. No pressure.
Yeah,
no
you do
pressure.
you.
Wendy Malik is not here.
But just know Wendy is not here.
Exactly. You know, I mean, part of like we were all talking about journeys, right? And I think part of Gwendolyn's journey was, I mean, I remember people saying things like she's an anti-vaxxer or something crazy, but I was like, okay, I didn't know it was that deep. But
Okay, internet. All right.
but you know, for me, I have 2 sons, and I wouldn't choose one over the other. But you know, when you someone once told me you're only as happy as your happiest child as a
Mm.
parent. And I think that's very true. So I think, she didn't know what Lilith was really going through in a way. Lilith was good. Lilith seemed fine. Everything was great. Not a troublemaker, and then, her other daughter is cursed, but she didn't know. So she was gonna, fight to the death for her, troubled child. And I think as a parent with more than one kid, you do kind of, you get a little consumed if your child is struggling. And so the balancing act of making sure everybody feels loved, I don't feel like that was a question for Gwendolyn. She loved them both, but it was just all of a sudden, I think the journey for her was seeing like, oh, I have done a disservice. I made my other daughter feel like she's, I just didn't see her in the way she needed to be seen. So I think, I think in a weird way, I feel this way about my two kids too. It's like you have one kid who's a lot like you in one way, and then the other kid's a lot like you in a very different way. And I think that, she finally saw Lilith, and I kind of think that they're like besties now. But not that she doesn't love Ida any less, but I think she's like, okay, we figured out the problem and everybody's doing good now. If that makes sense,
Absolutely.
Yes.
Was that okay, Sissy? You don't hate me?
You passed. You passed. I want to go call my mom.
I know, so sweet.
So our next question is for Rebecca, and I'm definitely interested in hearing this answer as somebody, as a YouTuber who has also kind of made it something more. So what was it like transitioning from YouTuber to Owl House production crew, and where do you see yourself going next?
Oh boy. The transition from covering the show to actually working on the crew, it was very exciting, but also incredibly intimidating because it was just like, oh God, I'm here. I'm making the show with the people that, I like covered the show on and followed on social media and stuff like that. So it's really scary. And I think just for season 3 in general, our design team, a lot of people were fans of the show. So I think we just all had this huge, we have to do really good because we really like this show and we don't want to mess it up. Because, it's when you're working on a project like this, you're just oh man, this is so important. We all want to just give our best that, that we have. For it. So I definitely think season 3, just in general, just how big it is, was also just an entirely new thing to tackle. But I learned so much working on the show because I worked primarily with the design team, but I'd also work with Eden in the booth. So I'd sit there and I would take notes. Or the one time that Eden ever had a question, I would be there to answer it because Eden's amazing and always knew what was going on in the episode.
But there was a lot to track. Can I just say?
Oh my God, there's so much to track.
There was a lot to track, so it was very nice that I could be like, hey, Rebecca, I know you'll know this. And then Rebecca would be like, oh yeah, it's this, and then this happened, and and I'd be like, oh, thank God.
I found the one career where I was just because I started my YouTube channel in the pandemic. I was just when am I ever going to use any of this info in my life? And I was I found the perfect position. This is it.
The greatest how it started to how it's going story ever.
But yeah, so and then I got to work with the PR team a little bit, and I'd occasionally pick still images to promote the episode. I kind of got to really work with everybody and meet so many different people, who worked on the show, which was just awesome to see how an episode is made. So just the whole process of just coming on and just learning as much as I could and just meeting everybody on the crew was absolutely incredible and an experience that I will never forget. In terms of for the future, I'm still at Disney TVA. I'm working on an upcoming show called Haley's on It, which recently just got announced. But yeah,
that one looks good.
But what do you want to do? What?
Oh boy.
Do you have a path that you want to go
welcome
on?
to my therapy session.
What do you want to do now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I would love to make the jump to the creative side at some point. Right now, I'm just trying to like learn as much as I can about the production pipeline, because I mean, each show is different. Like Haley operates differently than Owl House did. So you know, just kind of learning as much as I can to bring what I learned, you know, to the creative side eventually. Andy Garner Flexner, who was our art director on season 3, absolutely amazing art director, so incredible. But Andy worked on the production side of things first before he jumped over to the creative side, and I think that just like really helped, just like because Andy understood like what the production side of things needed to make things so much easier for us. So like that's something I would hopefully like to bring.
Would you
yeah.
like to be doing like character design, color? You still don't know. Still don't know. You don't have
She's
an
an incredible artist.
Yeah, like she does like little like fun sketches. I'm like, oh man, you're so good at everything.
I mean, like, I do like working with the color team because it's like, especially seeing those flash forward designs, I'm just like, oh man, they get to like pick different outfit colors and stuff like that. We'd have these design reviews and there'd be like 4 or 5 different like, you know, outfit colors for like Hunter or Willow. You know, just all the different characters.
See all of
And
those.
so, like, we like flip back and forth, and Dana and Andy would sit there and just be like, "But what about this one? But what if we took this color of these pants and put it here with this shirt and stuff like that?" And it was a lot of fun just to like see like the whole process of that. But yeah, eventually down the road. But right now, just trying to learn as much as I can about the whole animation pipeline.
I think it is truly a lot of YouTubers' dream to kind of step into where you are. So it's really awesome that you got into that, into this position, and you're doing another show, and who knows where you'll go from there. Very excited.
We'll see.
And
but yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I gotta leave for now, but Deep Cut's got it handled. He's on it, as you could say.
Thanks, Haley.
Bye, Haley.
Bye, Haley.
Thank you so much. It was nice meeting some of you and getting to see some of you again.
You too.
Bye.
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 Haley's On It has just been canceled. Deep Cuts On It is now back in action. We got another question for all of you here.
Yes,
let's get the
played.
tissues out. We're going over these. I know we already got some of these answers, but we're doing it again. What is the moment that made you cry?
Oh God.
Let's get most emotional in season 3 and really throughout the show, since this is our last chance. Let's just hear the tearjerker moments. Why don't we start with Zeno?
Aha, the crier, right?
Vito has so many to
Yeah,
choose from.
let me just pull out.
You know, we had to start with you, otherwise they'd all
Which
steal your
minute
answers.
of every episode
Yeah.
did you
That's so
cry?
true.
I think I never cried like watching back, but I remember recording with Eden the scene where Hunter does break down and cry. And I just think that was, as I've always said, like there was a big culmination of it was a pivotal point in Hunter's arc in like acceptance and like belonging, and like, you know, Hunter has had like a very tumultuous past, with Bellows being his only source of like community and belonging and family, and it sort of being a traumatic source, and it being a source of a lot of abuse, and it being a source of a lot of like not really what he wanted for himself. And so in hearing Luz sort of call him family amongst all these people who he wants to be their friend, and he wants to like make up for in all the ways. There's just like a lot of layers. I get emotional. I'm talking.
I know, not me crying right now.
But it's just like you sometimes you want to do the right thing so bad, and you want to like make up like what you've done to people really bad. And so I think for the beginning of that episode, when they got to the human realm, it was a lot of Hunter trying to like find redemption and like be better, and like, you know, but still at this kind of distance, like, I know you guys don't accept me or trust me or blah blah, but I'm gonna. And like, so when she called him family, and he could kind of like that feeling of this thing I've been searching for, like someone has validated that for me. And like it also made real all the trauma I went through to get here.
Yeah.
And like how like that results in somebody breaking down because it was just everything that he wanted and like never got. And like those two things become a reality. And so like for me, that made me cry as somebody who like who kind of can understand a bit of like Hunter's like pain and like what that's like. That was like very, very personal. That moment was very, very personal for me, and it was like a release that he needed. So I think that was for me, like that was mine. I was like, that boy. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And now over to Deb.
Well, I think in the last season, everything that had to do with Luz and Camila and their relationship and their growth and the experiences that Luz had really touched me. When I did the audition myself, the scene changed a wee bit from what I actually did in the first episode I was in, but I cried when I auditioned because I was like, I get it. There's so many tear-jerking moments and about relationships and love and loneliness. So I don't know if I can pick one, really.
It's fair. It's kind of a sad show at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Now over to Elizabeth.
Yeah, I feel similarly. There's a lot of moments between Camila and Luz where they have these really tender little moments where like maybe Luz is really struggling with something or feeling emotional, and Camila's like encouraging her. There's a lot of those kinds of moments, and those always really touch my heart. And there have been many a session where Eden and I are both crying in the booth together. It happens a lot, but I just really
Dang, I don't think I've ever made Eden cry.
I could hide a lot on Zoom. I could turn off my camera.
I was just crying by myself.
I can there's a mute button and the camera off.
You can turn off camera button on Zoom.
But yeah, for me, what I think is really touching is this idea of like as a parent. I'm not a parent, but Camila as a parent, like stepping beyond yourself and what you expect of your kid or even want of your kid or want for your kid, and like just meeting them where they're at and like choosing to support them over your own personal. It makes me emotional just talking about it. There's something really, really, I think, powerful and beautiful about that, and it's written throughout all the seasons. Like time and time again, Camila like interacts with Luz in this way where it's like, I might not know what's going on. What are you saying? There's demons? Oh, okay. Like,
Yeah.
so many moments, but like she just time and time again like just chooses to like, okay, now this is happening. I'm gonna step past that and like, kid, I got you. Like, and I just think that's really sweet. That always gets me.
That's a
I love
great
your line, like, was it that's Bellows? Like,
I also love it when you're like, wait a minute, so this is the normal stuff, and it's the hearts and the flowers.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
So
weird
the
stuff.
eyeballs on the ground are normal, but the little space cherub is the danger.
Yes, thank you.
the space cherub line, I was dying.
I
That
love
is
those
it.
moments where like Camila's just like, is this what the thing like does?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
And I always like try to play them super like bunchinche, like gossipy, like okay, got it.
So funny.
That's a great transition over to Eden. I want to know your answer to this question specifically. Hearing it all come together, in the voice actors booth. What was the saddest moments?
I feel like I really pulled one over on Nikki somehow. Like, you think you never made me cry? That is
Maybe I couldn't see through my own
false.
tears.
Yes, because when Nikki, actually, all of these gorgeous actors, when they're crying, they really go there. Like, this is not like they're not pretending. It was like in some cases with Nikki, we'd be like, okay, we got that one. Now, can you do maybe you got some of that out? Let's do it again.
Yeah, because you couldn't understand any word I was saying.
Yeah. And it's not like it wasn't like we need a little more emotion. It was like, okay, we need to tone it down and, so that we can understand the words.
I'm imagining an entire episode of the character just crying, like you can't even understand that.
This was all really emotionally intense for us because it's really good storytelling, and as you can tell, like everybody really deeply embodied their characters. So the scene with Camila and Luce in the rain, I think, like I mean.
Forever.
And those
Forever.
two beautiful actors, and they unfortunately did not get to play that scene together.
I wouldn't have been able to. I would have been useless.
Yeah.
Because you made me cry just doing the ADR. I was like,
But we did. I could get this wrong, but I think we recorded Camila first and played it for you, Nikki.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
And Elizabeth was so deeply in that scene, and that was probably one of the times when, like, because it was a really, really strong trigger that we had to probably do it a few times and like cry it out a little, and then you know, then get some usable takes, and because it was really intense, and it was intense for all of us, and I think we were all like bawling our eyes out. But there were many moments. That one, I think, because I'm a daughter and also a parent, I think maybe was the most intense, and the drama, like, drama is always so amazing. There's so much false drama on TV where it's like, oh, come on, you know, that was just a misunderstanding, you know, they're having a big fight about this. You all just want, you know, you're manipulating us. And this was like so real. Like, Luce needed something her mom couldn't give her, and her mom didn't want to face that. And she was revealing something about herself that she knew would be hurtful for her mom, and they were trying so hard to bridge this chasm of understanding, and it didn't resolve in that scene, not even close. Luce decided to stuff it down even more so that she could be herself, and that's so sad, and you just so desperately want these two wonderful characters to like come back together again. So it was just a great example of you know, this like particular genre and art form, like, you know, operating at its peak. Also the beautiful rain and the Luce appearing and I mean, come on, it was so good. It was brutal.
Day and I was like, Robbie, I just did something. I was like, that is gonna be the best like moment. I was like, that was so.
It was so intense. Yeah.
Yeah, and Elizabeth, like, hearing you, I didn't even like get my lines out. I just hearing yours, I was like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Here it comes.
Yeah, it was bad.
These actors are really special, like really special. You know,
I'm so
and, yeah.
grateful. to
You're
work with
really
you guys.
special.
You are.
Yeah.
You are the special.
That's what we call you, the specialist, Eden.
Yeah.
Special. Oh, I get it. Oh, that's actually kind of cool.
Now over to Melanie. What was your saddest moment?
You know, I'm
Mila.
really humbled to be a part of this show because I'm kind of on the outskirts of the juicy bits to me because I'm so in love with the story. I think what made me cry is the credits. We would talk about the show and being in the booth, but this show is so much more than just us creating it. It's the spirit that went into it, the writing, the talent, the colors, the world, the representation, and then meeting the fans and finding out what it has meant to you, this story. It's overwhelmingly beautiful to communicate with the fans of this franchise. And I've been really lucky to be a part of some beautiful franchises and stories, and some of them have gone on too long, and you know they're still happening, and some of them we didn't know that there was going to be an ending, so they just kind of are just hanging there. But this one, we saw it coming, we knew it was coming. It's like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, it's a perfect moment from creation to the creativity in the booth to what it's meant to everyone on this cast and in the fandom. And I don't know if I've ever had something that perfect like in this moment, and I love getting to share this moment, the artwork, but I guess we have this impression that when things go south, then we end them. But this is a perfect show and a perfect moment.
Mm.
And I think it's going to resonate for a long time in Dana's new projects and the friendships that we've gotten. But watching the credits was just like, how can something so good be so over for a moment? Honestly, heartbreaking and exhilarating, and just my heart is filled with gratitude to have been part of something so special.
Beautiful. And now over to the Owl Trio.
Who wants to go first? I mean, this is.
Yep. All.
You're all just waiting to cry, basically.
Yeah. Listen, I cry real easy.
We're criers. If you haven't, well, actually, you can keep it together.
We're not. We're a mess. That's what about the mess.
There's my comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're just talking about the third season, God, I mean the when Hunter comes back to, and is it Gus says Hunter Flapjack, and he just says, "I know," like
Yes.
D-E-D,
Yeah.
the family moment that Zeno was talking about, that slayed me. And then when
got me all choked up thinking about Flap.
oh my God, I know, when Camila's the puppet and we know that Luce fucking Luce died.
I just got choked.
That was my moment.
Yeah.
And then like
Oh, yeah.
I know what I should have said. I should have thanked them. Like I'm just
Oh yeah.
Oh, stop it.
basically like I've been crying for like 5 years. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But like every single thing was just so beautifully thought out and beautifully acted by all of these amazing people and directed and drawn and colored. Like everything was so perfect.
Everything was like better than the last thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's even. I can't even. Yeah, there's too many moments.
Yeah. Like I was watching. I watched the finale with my kids, and I just flown back from Europe like the night before, so I was super jet lagged. And we're sitting on the couch watching, and like one of the many scenes that made me cry happened, and I had this moment, and my kids were like, "Mom, are you crying?" Mom, are you crying? I was like, "Yes, leave me alone." So yeah, I mean, and again, being a daughter and a mom, and it's just beautifully done.
Anything you want
Now
to
I'm gonna cry.
I'm not a crier, so from just season 3, definitely first was like Flapjack. I was like trying to barter with the stages of grief. I was trying to barter with Dana. I was like, kill Luce. And she was like, oh, you're dying too.
You know what? No, right? Like, no.
Oh, all right then. Feels fair. Okay. I cried a lot. Luce cried a lot. One of my I have a couple favorite moments. One was getting to do the vlog of Luce through all the ages and grieving father's illness and then his passing, and then just the one that really got me to was oldest Luce, where we find her right before the Owl House when she's like, I'm gonna make mom proud. She was doing all of that acting out and all that stuff just to try to help Camila through things. And that was just so cutting. And thinking about children, she's like, I don't think that's why we moved to this house. Kids see stuff and kids get stuff that no matter how much you try to protect them. So that really made me cry. I've said this before, but yeah, it was very art meets life, very meta doing the narration on the last episode about how the Boiling Isles, gave me something at a time in my life and I'll never forget it. And that was the Owl House for me, I had done some scratch, I'd done some small stuff, but I really could never have been prepared for what this show could mean to me. And the grief I felt when I knew it was coming to an end. And Eden was there when I and Rebecca was there. That was your first day, right? In the recording?
It wasn't my first day. It was very early on because you recorded that very early.
Yeah, we recorded a year ago. Yeah.
But yeah, but like we hadn't met yet in person. 'Cause we hadn't started post to it yet. But like literally, you were like totally fine. And you're just like, a whole chapter of my life was over.
And I
like
really,
sobbing,
I
crying.
thought I'd like grieved. I thought I was ready.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, Eden and Dana were like, don't make us cry. And I, like, and I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I talked about it in therapy. It's been a couple months. Like, I'm ready. And then I finished that first take, and I didn't cry like the first take. And as soon as I finished the words, I just was. It wasn't like a single tear. It was like bucket, like anime cartoon, just like, like I was.
You're like in the
screaming.
corner of the booth,
I had
like,
to turn
turned
around
away from
it
the
wasn't
camera.
a little cry. It was like a screaming, ugly cry. And then I was like, okay, yeah, give me 2 minutes. Give me the beat now. Like, I was so sick over this, you know. It's not in a selfish way. Oh, she's great too. It just gave me so many besties. You know, like all of you, like we've done like post-hoot stuff, and just everyone I meet is just more lovely than the last. And this show and our fans, like, don't even get me started on the fans. They're always making me cry.
Yeah.
It's just really special to be a part of something that means something to other people, you know? Because like, you know, like you're saying, you're sharing a little part of you and experience and like some, you know, vulnerable little part. And then for other people to be like, oh, me too. That's so validating. That's so like special to get to experience something so big with people.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
It's fine. Don't worry. I'm just sobbing. It's fine.
Always tissues on deck in my house.
Always tissues. I'm a crier.
Yeah.
We've got some more questions individualized for each of you. I wanted to start right where we are now with Sarah Nicole Robles. What did you get to see when did you get to see Luce's Titan form? What was your reaction to it? And if you had your own beast form, what would that be like?
Ooh, so spicy. What a good question. I got to see, so there were certain things like when I read the script, I was like, show me her, like String Bean. And I was like, she's perfect. I cried when I saw String Bean. That's another one. She's so perfect. And Titan Luce, Dana, as soon as she was solidified, she's like, do you want to see her? And I was like, I want nothing more. And she's so beautiful and so powerful. So that was really exciting. I've never felt like such a baddie. Yeah, it was like excellent. I couldn't believe it, and especially when it was done. Like seeing the final episode was even better because seeing her in action and that whole action sequence was just so real. Like she is so cool.
Yeah.
And if I had my own beast form, you tell me, what would my beast form be? Like,
It would be that little nugget right there.
oh, it'd be my little Lou, my little werewolf. Yeah. She's got a dark side. It would definitely be, like all. And I love like Spiky King when he's like all angry.
Feral King. Yeah.
Feral King. It'd probably be a spiky little pup. Yeah.
This next question is for Sissy. You've managed to develop such a unique bond with both King and Hootie in the show, but if forced to choose between them and have one of them as a real friend in real life, which one do you choose and why?
Well, so
He'd
here's
be
the
gross
difference.
in real life.
Hootie would be gross, but he is he's legit a true friend. King,
Yeah.
like the bond between Lilith and King is more like, how may I serve you, Sir Titan? Please, don't kill me. And I, what I love about her relationship with Hootie is that it's not a form of hero worship. It's not a form of king and servant. You know what I mean?
He like snuck into her heart.
Yeah, and so he would probably smell real bad and would be very embarrassing at parties, but he'd be my guy. He'd be my birdworm.
This next one's for Zeno. Over the course of the show, Hunter got to get to know the Owl House gang, but seems to have become most close, of course, with Willow. Fans really want to know, what was just your reaction to, who Hunter ultimately ended up with in that regard?
What I like about Hunter and Willow is that, like, I think Willow, outside of Flapjack, Willow was the first person to sort of start seeing Hunter, like outside, like she sort of just kind of forgave him for all that, like for low-key betraying everybody in that one episode, and was the one person who's like, I'm still gonna remain your friend. And like she kind of saw through past all the mask that like I think that like Hunter puts up. I feel like in a different way from like Luz. I feel like Luz and Hunter clashed a lot before their bond was solidified. So I think that made Willow really important. Like it's important to have somebody who sort of like sees you at your core and sees you with all your nuances. And I'm not gonna look at you for your mistakes. Like I'm not gonna look at you for what everybody else kind of looks at you as. Like I can see past all that, and like I would look at your core. And I think like Willow time and time again has been consistently that for Hunter, and consistently like his strongest source of support, even if it's like cutting his hair or like, you know, quelling his insecurities. And so I'm glad like Hunter sort of got to give that back to her in for the future. And I just really love how special they have both become to each other. And I think that's why like they sort of ended up kind of together at the end, is because like, you know, like I was thinking about, because the sexuality thing, and like Willow is like pan, so the way that like, I don't know, I just feel like it's really like it's emblematic of like the way she loves. Like I don't care about blah blah blah, and she's really, you know, and I think she's like a really strong character, and Hunter needs that, you know, he needs somebody to like sort of take charge sometimes, because now he doesn't know how to do it. And so I think that that's really important, and I'm glad that that's how that ended up, because I don't know, I think it's cute.
This next one is for Melanie. What was Kikimora's most satisfying moment for you?
Oh. I loved when she got to talk to her mom in Palm Stings. I mean, it was not, I mean, as a character, she was pretty gutted, but I think we saw a lot of who she was and why she was in that phone call, of trying to be everything and all things to everyone. And I think it was satisfying to get a little bit behind the veil to understanding who she was and why she was.
Thank you. This next one's for Eden Regal. How differently do you think Bosch's life would have gone if Luz hadn't come to the Boiling Isles and stirred things up, particularly with her friend group?
Whoa.
These are great questions, you guys.
These are great questions. Wow. That's so fascinating. I think she probably, oh, this is like a fate kind of thing. Like, are we destined to reach the end of our path, no matter what comes in the way? I think Luce really changed Amity's path, and I think that Basha felt so tied to what Amity was doing that things probably would have gone differently. I think Amity probably would have been a less happy person and might have continued with her, you know, kind of mean girl. Like she was never like truly like a mean girl, because she just was too busy to really care about other people, Amity. But she has like this kind of like natural, like she's the most popular girl in school, and she's the one who like, you know, creates the culture. And I think maybe Basha would have ultimately, you know, been in a much more comfortable path had Luce not come in and shaken everything up, but I don't know that it necessarily would have made her happier.
Thank you. This next one is for Elizabeth. York, and we're making you choose favorites again. Your character is the mother of Luce, but among your new adopted children, which of the characters are you most fond of and feel the most parental instincts for?
Oh, come on, guys.
Everyone else had that.
Guys.
We make you choose on this channel.
I don't know. Brutal. Rosemary's Baby. Is that what that movie's called? It doesn't matter.
Sophie's choice. I think
Thank you.
is interesting.
Thank you.
Sophie, right?
Gosh, that's a tough one. I mean, I want to like cop out of it and say I can't choose. But you guys are saying
Good answer.
besides Luce, like Luce is not part of.
Besides
Right,
Luce,
Luce
yeah.
is
Like
right.
Luce is my child. Okay.
You're safe.
I don't know.
I figured.
I know I could make an argument for a lot of them. Like,
Yeah, like what?
feel
I
like
want
it's
to know
gotta
what
be
you
easy.
guys think.
You could say Hunter. It's
It's
okay.
gotta be V. V's so tortured, and she needed you, and you gave her a home and a life, and now you guys are
Oh.
besties.
That's true. We are besties. We have a lot of deep talks off camera. Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense, and I also, I mean, of course, like, I sort of sweetly feel like there's like a unique connection with each one, and they're all really different, but yeah, I think V, what you were saying, Zeno, like I can just say it to you, it's fine, just like admit it.
I think she's like creeped out a little by Zeno. She's like, that one is.
That was
Yeah.
a little strange.
That one's spicy.
Yeah.
I know.
What's going on over there?
I love them all equally. You'll never get me to choose.
Dang. All right.
Yeah, there's a
That's why
parent.
who's to play.
This one's for
Camila.
Deb. You get to play the mother of another character on the show as well. Who do you choose and why?
Oh. That is not that's not an easy question. So I mean, Camila did, Liz did such a good job. I can't say that, but that's a juicy part, baby. That's the juicy one. Jeepers. I don't know. I mean, Hunter is a very interesting character. So what would their mama be like? That could be cool.
I'm sure somewhere around along the line, you've met a form of Hunter.
So true. There's been a lot of them.
I want to know, like, obviously we don't know, but I want to know if Hunter and the Clawthorns ever figure out the
Connection.
Evelyn connection.
Yeah, I'm dying to know.
Remember, what you saying? There was like there was something like along those lines that was like talked about before it got cut short or something like that.
Yeah, there's like some weird little story in there that never really kind of got developed.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah, I mean,
There's another story.
Yeah.
Dana's not here, so I don't want to say anything.
But yeah,
So that's the perfect segue into the next question, which was actually for Rebecca Rose.
Thank you.
What, if
That's
anything,
Excellent.
can you tell us about what didn't make it into the show?
Oh, I mean, the thing, and we talked about this on
26 more episodes.
I mean, we talked about this on Post 2 last week when Dana was on, and there's kind of like a misconception that season 3 had all these episodes planned and written out, when that was never the case. They found out partway through season 2 when they were writing season 2 about the show being shortened. So season 3 really didn't change because there was no season 3 written out. But like in terms of season 2, there was stuff, with like the Coven heads that had to get cut short. I mean, we were talking a little bit about
Bat Queen.
Yeah, the Bat
Yes.
Queen, like a bit more about Hootie's backstory. I mean, all those things kind of had to get sidelined to prioritize, Luce, Ida, and King's storyline and wrapping that up for them. I know Dana wants to remain very vague about those in case there's ever a chance that we get, comics or graphic novels or a spinoff or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, plot lines like that, unfortunately had to get...
Keep being loud
yeah,
online.
no, keep watching.
Yes.
All right. That looks like all the questions we had today. We're going to wrap things up real quick. I want to remind everyone that these voice actors are signing later today prints that you can buy at the Streamily shop, which should be in the chat, appearing on screen now as well. We're going to give everyone a chance to say goodbye one at a time. Let everyone know where they can find you, what else you might be in. And if you want to give one last line as your character to the audience, now's your
I mean,
chance.
it has to be bye at the
Bye.
end of it, right?
Bye. Yeah.
Why don't we start with Elizabeth?
Yeah, thanks guys. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and support and how much you guys have loved Camila. I'm just coming back to the chat so I can see your last little comments. But you can find me at on Instagram, and it's my name at Elizabeth A. Grujon. And it's just been my honor to be your Camila. So thank you. I love you. And that's the bellas you've been fighting.
Perfect. Now over to Zeno.
Yes, thank you so much. The community means so much to me. I love you all. I meet a lot of you all the time. And I'm so touched and I'm so honored that Hunter means so much to you as much as he means to me. I'm very honored and blessed to have joined this incredible show, this incredible cast, this incredible crew, everybody who loves the show, puts their heart and soul and passion into it. So thank you so much. I'm at Childish Gamzino everywhere. I'll be signing at some point. And I love you all. Thank you for finding me.
And over to Eden Regal.
I just want to say thank you all so much for sharing this with us. This is a show that really spoke to us so deeply, and we and it is so meaningful to get to share that with a community of strangers and now not strangers that we encounter. It does feel like we share something really deep and real, and I'm so grateful that we got to put something that I'm really proud of into the world, and that it spoke to you all as well. And I'm on socials as Eden Regal, and I and I will say in parting, groveling line starts here.
Now over to Melalee.
You can find me at the Melalee, just about everywhere, or melalee.com. And own your strength. Know your power. You are the future of the Isles.
Ooh.
Now over to Deb.
Well, I think everybody has said it, and it's just a kind of a mind-blowing experience to be a part of this show, albeit a small part. But Ida wouldn't exist if I didn't give birth to her.
Okay.
However witches give birth, I don't know. But I am, I didn't know what I was walking into. I mean, I knew it was Disney. I was super stoked, but I didn't realize how, now I'm going to start crying, life-changing it would be. The fans are amazing. The stories I hear are so personal and brave, and, the show has really sort of created so much visibility for so many young people to see themselves, and that is an amazing thing. And whether or not we get any like more sort of spin-offs, but it will go on. I mean, I think this show will find audiences for years and years and years to come, and it's going to be a classic. So I am just so grateful and appreciative that Dana put this crazy idea into the world, and that I got to work with Eden in the booth and meet some incredible people, albeit they're on the other side of the country, but I will get there one of these days. I'm taking y'all out for some cocktails. And let me see if I can channel my Gwendolyn. I love every part of you. So
Wow, that's great.
And finally, over to the Owl Trio.
Who would like to go first?
Hi. Yeah, I mean, what all you have said so far, just being a part of this has been such an honor and such a joy, and seeing the art that has come out of the fandom and the community that has come out of the fandom. Please just keep being kind to each other and looking out for one another and sticking up for one another. It's been such a privilege to see. Thank you. And that's yeah. I'm Sissy Speaks. I'm mostly on Instagram now. And I guess good luck with puberty.
I can go next. You're the main character.
Am I? Debatable.
Yeah, no, I mean, this whole experience has been absolutely incredible. I mean, just starting as like, you know, a fan and a viewer, just covering the show on YouTube, to being able to work on it and be a part of it has been just the most amazing experience. And I know that, you know, the season 3 situation, you know, isn't what anybody wanted. You know, it's unfortunate that it happened. But at the end of the day, I think the entire cast and crew just wanted to make something, like make an ending that was just as beautiful and incredible as the journey was to get there.
Are you serious? I am. Cry. We got her.
You got her.
No, it's been amazing.
Oh.
Oh no, I am not. If everyone else cries, I cry.
Everybody
first
cry.
of all, yeah. Thanks.
Ready, go.
Thanks for watching. Thank you. This show changed my life. It gave me like some really awesome friends, some forever memories, and you can find me on Instagram at Snarkler.
Be sure to smash that subscribe button.
Subscribe. Yeah, and I'm, you know, we're always gonna be fighting for you guys. Anyone who doesn't feel represented, like, all of us are working on that every day. So we're with you. We hear you. We see you. We love you. And you know, you might have to go to a different realm to find them, but your people are out there. Your family's there, and the people who understand you and will love every part of you, you'll find them. So yeah, so you have a different way of doing things. You have a different way of seeing things. That might make you weird, but that also makes you awesome.
Beautiful note to end on. Thank you so much. It was great seeing you all again. Have a good day, everyone. And don't forget to check out that Streamily link to get an autograph print and see these voice actors one more time while they sign it. Have a good one.
Bye. Bye.